We are about to make the easiest recipe for spaghetti and meat sauce. And guess what? It has a whopping 34 grams of protein per serving. This makes 4 servings, and what I like to do is I make it at least once a week, and I eat 1 serving, and then I will take the other 3 servings and put them into containers and store them in the fridge or freezer because it freezes really, really well. I am all about getting a lot more protein in to build muscle, lose fat, and just to be stronger. So if you're down for that, let's get on into making this recipe. The very first thing you'll need is beef. I prefer grass-fed, grass-finished. You get whatever you want. The leanest meat you want, you can do ground anything. And then I personally like to put chopped onions and garlic in it. You can choose to do this or not. You can totally use fresh garlic, fresh onion, frozen, whatever you want. You can also just simply use onion powder and garlic powder or whatever spices suit your fancy. Honestly, this is such a versatile recipe, it's not even funny. Italian seasoning though, you definitely need that. So that is the number one thing I think is non-negotiable, but everything else, do as you will. Now I like to use the basics. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and that's it for spices. You need a little bit of olive oil for sure, just to make sure stuff doesn't stick to the pan. And also olive oil is a great fat and it tastes delicious. Now this is a key ingredient, Barilla Protein Plus Pasta. I love it so much, I have it in every kind, in penne and spaghetti and angel hair. We're using spaghetti today, but look at how much protein is in it. So much protein. It is delicious and it doesn't taste gross, and I'm a fan. Now, I always like to use a marinara sauce that is organic and that has clean ingredients. This one from Trader Joe's is great. I also use the Rayos or whatever just is clean, and look at that, extra protein. So put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and then I just use a half a bag, which is about 5 ounces of chopped onions, and then I'll take a heaping dollop of garlic and I'll stick it in there as well, and I'll just make sure that I brown it. Like, not really brown, but I make sure that the onions are translucent and it starts to like maybe lightly brown, just like you see in this picture right here. So I always do that first before I put my meat in. Now again, you can use ground turkey, ground chicken, you can use Beyond Meat, you can use anything that you want to use, just you need some kind of ground meat or ground meat substitute. I just chop that baby up and I integrate it into the onions and the garlic until it is well incorporated. Then I add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, but I just realized that my pepper is like a grinder and I can't do it one-handed, so we're just going to pretend, and I'm going to just shake it and pretend. This is like pretend peppering, but you get what I'm doing. You get what I'm doing. Okay, now comes the Italian seasoning. Season with your heart, baby. Season with your heart. I just season, and then I season even more because I love seasoning. I love a well-seasoned dish, and I love Italian seasoning. At this point, I like to put in more onion powder and garlic powder because to me, the more the merrier. So again, totally optional, but I take that option. What can I say? Now, I like to multitask, and I only like to take 15 minutes to make the whole meal basically. So while the meat is cooking, I get my water ready for boiling the Barilla pasta. I put a little bit of olive oil in it and a little bit of salt. Do not put as much as you see me doing right here. This is too much, one shake, not like all that. So I take care of it later, you'll see. And then I just crank up the heat to high for the pot. And then I like to break my spaghetti in half. I just feel like it makes it easier to eat, and it's just a preference. Do you, boo? And then at the same time, I like to actually turn down the heat on the meat, and then I stick a jar, the whole entire 24-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce of marinara into the meat. Now at this point, please give me some grace because I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some water from my refrigerator into my spaghetti sauce can to shake it up and to get the remaining bits of the spaghetti sauce out of it. But you know what? I'm pretty sure I am facing the camera the wrong way, and whatever, I'm a novice, give me a break. Okay, here's me pretending to put in the marinara sauce and water combo into the dish, just like I did with the pepper. Now, if you know, you know. And if you're from the South, you definitely know. But I don't know, I always like a little bit of sweetness in my spaghetti sauce, so I like to use brown sugar stevia. Like, I'm telling you, it makes it so delicious. I put about this much in it, I sprinkle, 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 and it makes all the difference in the world of making the perfect balance of like savory with a little bit of sweet. And then that's it. Your sauce is done. And the Barilla pasta takes exactly 9 minutes to be the perfect al dente pasta. Okay, these are my 3 containers and then my plate. So again, they're 4 servings. That's how I like to split it up. Okay, pasta's ready, so I'm draining the pasta. And then I'm actually gonna rinse the pasta because I put way too much salt in the water. So I'm rinsing it. You don't have to. You can if you want to. But I'm just doing it because it's just too salty. And I made a little mistake, but that's okay. Live and learn, and it's really hard to cook with just one hand. So I divide the pasta up into 4 different sections. Obviously, 1 for me right now, and then 3 for whenever I want them. Next day, next meal, next week if I freeze it, and that's it. But before I actually put the pasta I'm going to store into their containers, I actually like to use just any kind of big bowl. And I guess first I'm going to make a pretty plate. So here I am making a really presentable, gorgeous plate, because you know what? You eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. So I'm making a really pretty plate just for me for dinner. Look at that. Does that not say, I don't know, home cooked love? I think it does. I absolutely adore this meal, and it's especially good when it's wintertime. But anyway, so with the rest of the sauce, I just stick it into this big bowl, and then I like to take a pair of tongs and just really, really incorporate the two together, because I feel that when you store spaghetti, it stores so much better when it's combined with the sauce, because if you have it, just the sauce on the bottom, and then, the sauce on the top, and then the pasta on the bottom, I feel like the pasta like sticks together, it gets really dry, and it's kind of gross. So this is what I have found makes it preserve and taste best. So there's your secret tip for the day. Incorporate it first and then stick it into your containers. I love my glass containers because I feel like they both refrigerate and freeze the best. So here you go. 4 servings, 34 grams of protein. It is delicious. You've got to try this. Like, try it tonight. And it's super duper easy. It takes about 15 minutes, and bada bing, bada boom. You have hit your protein goals before you know it. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I will see you next Sunday at noon for another video, and I love you and have the best week ever. Bye.